Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Stay inside just to stay alive. 2020, goodbye.
Hey, get out of here. 2020, forget about it. Let's move on, shall we?
Maybe a better theme song would have been Staying Alive for this year.
Ha, 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 stay alive, 2020, stay alive.
Yeah, I just watched the Bee Gees documentary on HBO, if you couldn't tell. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It is worth it. Anyway, goodbye 2020. Yes, please. Moving on sounds great. 2020, goodbye. 2021, hello. I know that it doesn't mean anything's going to happen. Everything's going to change overnight as soon as the clock ticks over to 2021. But hey, it can't be much worse than 2020 was, don't you think? Let's at least put all of our collective positivity towards a better year. I think we've earned it. And let's just put 2020 in the bag. However, I would like to say 2020 is definitely a year that we won't forget. That is for sure. That's an understatement. Underline it, highlight it, blow it up. Yeah, so maybe we should look back and focus on some of the things that we did accomplish in 2020. That's what I like to do. That's what everybody likes to do. But as artists, let's take some stock in what we did accomplish over the year. And then we can switch gears and focus on next year. So today, really quickly, just kind of a fun episode to look back and enjoy what we have accomplished, even during the shit show that was 2020. So get your list ready, everybody. Get in a comfortable chair, sit back, relax, and ponder what you've accomplished over 2020 before we move on to the next. For me, looking back, moving all the crap, the madness, the hysteria, the sickness, the death, everything aside, and looking at my own life, what I've accomplished, I'm really proud of 2020. I've done 10 exhibitions somehow this year. I sold a record number 100 paintings. I had a great in-depth interview with Lee Hudspeth, a friend and writer. Check out his blog, leehudspeth.com. Shout out. Created this podcast, and this is episode number 49. This whole podcast dropped in March of 2020, and I can't believe it, but I have released 49 episodes since then. Really proud of it, and I hope you guys are enjoying what is coming at you. We also got named on the FeedSpot Top 25 Art Podcast that you must listen to in 2020, so that was awesome. Alongside Mike Collins and Shockbox Gallery, as well as some kick-ass other artists from the program at Shockbox, put together 8 juried international group art exhibitions and competitions. And I was fortunate enough to be a juror on all 8 of those, so I'm really proud of that. And I also created a YouTube channel and released 91 videos this year. So, kept busy. Maybe I just didn't want to think about the year and I just wanted to keep my head down and be working. But whatever the case is, that is something to be proud of. I'm very proud of what I accomplished this year. And at very least, I can look back and focus on that and say, hey, didn't let the pandemic ruin my life. I got down, got busy, got funky. Okay, enough of that. Sorry about your ears. So what are we going to focus on next year? Now is the time to, first of all, enjoy being with your loved ones, friends, anybody you are around right now safely. Enjoy that time and, think back to what has happened this year. Take some time alone, meditate on it, and see what you could have done a little better. See what you want to do better next year. Maybe you've done everything great, and maybe you just want to carry that positivity into the new year. Wonderful. Maybe you let some news headlines, for example, get you down this year. So maybe a goal next year is to turn off the news and go inward and see what you can contribute to the world. Regardless, take some stock in what has happened over the year and get out that list. So for next year, for me, for example, just to give you an example of what I'm doing, off the top of my head, I would like to beat that sales point. I'd like to have a record number of art pieces sold next year. I would also like to sell a piece for the highest price point I've ever sold for. That would be great. Another goal would be to get this podcast on 2 more best art podcast lists. I want to have 2 YouTube videos go viral, get some more eyeballs on the channel, get some more subscribers, get me closer to, monetizing and get more people interested in the podcast. I would like to also pursue some sort of international gallery representation. In addition to what I have with Shockbox and a couple other places, I would like to have a kind of blue chip gallery, an international gallery represent me and push some of my work abroad. Now, I push my work abroad online and I've had a lot of good exposure with that, but having another gallery expose me to a different type of clientele abroad would be awesome. So that's a goal for me. And another one off the top of my head would be to sell more work on Artsy with Shockbox. It's one of the platforms that I haven't really been super successful on so far. And I would love to do that, not only to make more sales, get more exposure, but to contribute more to Shockbox, which is a gallery that I love and you hear me talk about all the time. So those are some goals for me moving forward. Now, I've got all sorts of life goals as well. But seeing as this is an art podcast, I thought I would focus just on that. I know my wife has some great goals. I know she's accomplished a lot this year too. I know we've accomplished a lot as a couple too, but I won't bore you with any of that. What do you got? What do you want to do next year? I know you want to say goodbye to this year as badly as I do, but what do you want to do moving forward with some positivity? Get that list out and start writing and really infuse it with some positivity, some positive energy. And the more that you can say this, like maybe even say it as, this is a little trick that I've learned. You can say it on the list as if you've already accomplished it. For example, I have sold a record number of paintings this year in 2021. Or I'm so happy to have new gallery representation this year, 2021. Or I'm happy to have worked on 20 commissions this year. Or I'm happy to have 2 pieces accepted into the Whitney, for example. These are just some options, but do your own. I know you all have your own goals and dreams. So think and dream big and really do it with some confidence. Let's make 2021 a positive force and make it something like I did a couple years ago when I first started really, taking it up a notch and moving up a level in my art career. I made it the year of no fear. So let's make 2021 the year of no fear and see what we can accomplish with that. Because really, that's one commonality with any type of failure in life or in the art world is letting your fear and anxiety get in the way of you actually doing something unique, doing something bold, doing something, that might be uncomfortable. Because being uncomfortable is unfortunately something that goes along with growth and stepping it up. So let's all do that. It has been a pleasure to talk to you all this year, 2020. And oh my God, I'm going to cry. No, I'm not going to cry. But it really has been a pleasure. And thanks for listening to the podcast. I really can't wait to do some awesome interviews, to do some kind of outside the box stuff in 2021 with the podcast. So be on the lookout for that. I can't wait to expand the type of people that I'm interviewing. I'm going to do some interviews that are in the creative realm that are not just, for example, visual artists. It's going to mainly focus on that because that's what my audience is, but I'm also going to focus on some creative people, like maybe some writers or maybe musicians, an actor or two here or there. But 80%, 90% will still be focusing on visual artists. So don't be afraid, but there are things that we can learn from each other. All creative types, all creative personalities, all creative outlets and careers have a lot of overlaps to them, and we can all learn from each other. So looking forward to that, and let's help each other out in 2021. Let's keep fostering this artistic community that we have here. Remember, you got a friend in me. Okay, this is like the singing podcast. Well, whatever. It's the end of the year, so fuck it. Going out with a bang. We're going out with a sing. So hope everybody's doing well. Reach out. Let's stay connected this next year, and let's make this the year that we kicked some ass.
Ha, 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 ha. Kicking some ass. Kicking some ass. 2021. Kicking some ass.
See you later, everybody. Catch y'all on the flip side. This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.